Hi everybody, my name is Bob Saunders and I'm here today to talk to you about meditation basics for beginners. Now, I was talking to a friend of mine that lives in America the other day and he suggested that I make this video, and I thought probably it would be a waste of time because there must be so many little videos online concerning meditation, and I said to him that I didn't think it would be worth the while. He said, no, there's not very many good videos about meditation, and he seems to think that I've got something to say, so I said I'd have a go. So, basics for beginners, meditation. And I've got some notes, so if I'm looking down, please excuse me. Now, I'm going to talk to you today about 3 types of meditation, and they've all got different aims and objectives. By the way, if you can hear a funny noise, it's my dog behind me scratching on the carpet. Anyway, the first one is what I call the Buddhist type. And the aim of the Buddhist type is just to generate within oneself a deep feeling of peace, okay? And at oneness with all the world and all the rest, okay? And it's a good method. But now, the second method I call the visualization type. And the aim of a visualization meditation is to help people who want to go beyond basic meditation and learn to go safely into the astral realms and explore them and contact their guides and all the rest of it. And the last one, the third one, I'm going to call a self-guided meditation, in which you create a little story, and if it's done correctly, it will help you contact your higher self, and it's once again a good way of meditating. Okay, so there's 3 types. Now, the first thing I must say, and I can't express this too strongly, is protection. Unfortunately, from what I've seen, the vast majority of people who do that you see online, learn to enter your astral body or your etheric body in 3 easy lessons and all this sort of stuff. It's very, very dangerous. Protection is vitally important, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay? Now, and the same if you're one of those people that listen to those tones, you know, those tones that are supposed to help you get out of your body or whatever. If you're not protected and you go into the astral realms, it's very dangerous. Now, I want to keep this as short as possible, so I'm not going to go into the deep whys and wherefores of meditation and all the dangers. I will just say this, that the etheric and astral realms exist. They're very, very real. And in them are good beings and bad beings. The good beings you don't need to worry about because they're not going to hurt you. The bad beings, you need to make sure that you're protected against them, otherwise they will come and possess you. And I don't want to exaggerate, but probably once a week I'm contacted by somebody who says that they've been doing these out-of-body things, or they've been listening to these tones and they've got possessed by something, and could I help them get rid of it? And I really would prefer that you didn't get possessed in the first place, okay? So I'll explain it as we go along. Now, I'll stop all that, and I'm going to teach you how to do the basic meditation, the Buddhist type. Okay, once again, I've got a load of notes here. Now, and I'm going to read it to make sure I don't miss anything because I typed it out. Okay, so please excuse me as I'm reading it. Now, choose a room in which you feel comfortable and you can be alone. Tell anybody present in your house or flat or wherever that you are going to meditate and you want to be uninterrupted. Go into that room and close any doors and windows. Now sit in a comfortable chair. Do not lie down on a bed. That can be dangerous. Okay, I won't explain why. If you want to know why things are good or bad, contact me and I'll do another video about it later, but I just want to keep to the basics. So just sit in a chair, okay? Now, once you're sat in the chair, try to relax and close your eyes. Okay? The idea is to forget that you've got a body. That's all it is. You're going to use your mind to do these exercises, so you don't want to be interrupted by your body that feels uncomfortable, or you've got a scratch, or try and forget your body. Now, this is where we start to get into the protection bit. Say a little prayer to God, telling him that you're coming into contact with him, and ask him to send his angels and your guides to stand guard over you as you meditate. This asking for protection is super important. Never forget to ask before meditating. If you don't ask, you won't get the protection. If you do ask, even though you're not aware that you're being protected, you will be. Now, I want you now to do a personal protection. What you do is you put your hands over your head and you move them gradually down to your sides, but at the same time imagining a cocoon of white light all around you, just like as if you're the yellow part of an egg inside the shell of an egg. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to put a cocoon of protective power around you. Okay? Try and visualize that as best you can, even if you can't see it. The fact that you've asked for it, provoked it, it will be there. And personally, I do that little exercise 3 times to make sure it's there. Okay? Right. Now let's get me a bit of paper. Now, you understand now that you've got God's angels and your guides outside protecting you, and you're shut in a cocoon of protective power. So now you should be perfectly safe. Now, the true Buddhist type meditation starts, and it's simple. You just sit with your eyes closed, relax, and go deeper and deeper within, rather as if you were falling asleep. If you do fall asleep, that's not the end of the world. Don't worry. If you're tired, you probably will fall asleep, and I've done it many times, but don't worry about it. This is this meditation bit. You just go deeper and deeper within, and you just allow a number of minutes to just relax and go deeper and deeper, and you'll get a feeling of peace and calm that comes over you. Just relax more and more. Now, you may feel some odd sensations. You may feel your heart jump and skip a bit, or it might feel like it's swelling, your heart. That's perfectly normal. You may have a little bit of a difficulty breathing. You may feel your breath coming and going a bit in gasps. That's perfectly normal also. You may feel a pressure around your head. That's normal also. What is happening is that as you meditate, you're starting to pour energy into your higher chakras which are around you. And I'm assuming you know that. If you don't understand what I'm saying, contact me and I'll make a video explaining all this. You're pouring energy into your higher chakras, and as they're connected to your heart, your throat, and to your head, you get a reaction in your body. It's perfectly normal. Now, you just sit like this for several minutes, try and clear your mind, try and chase away any thoughts that come into your mind and so on, and you just sit. It's as simple as that. After about 10 minutes, this is important also, when you're meditating, you're receiving power from God. Okay? Now, it's important that that power doesn't stay with you, because it'll be wasted. So after a number of minutes, I want you to send your thoughts out to the world. Send thoughts of peace and love out to the world. Imagine you're projecting it out. If you know any person that's actually sick, you can name in your mind that person, but that healing power, that power of God, will go out to all people. It will equally go to politicians and bankers and this so-called Illuminati. It will generally help. And the more people that do this sort of meditation, the more we're going to get rid of bad and replace it by good. So So it's important that you do that, okay? Now, and essentially that's the meditation finished. Now, let me take this bit of paper off and I'm on to page 2. Now, what I want you to do then is to thank God, thank his angels, thank your guides for standing protection over you, because you're coming out of your meditation now, you've finished. And at the same time, not at the same time, and shortly after, you imagine this cocoon of protective power going away, going down and down and into the ground. Okay? And then you come back to yourself. Now, if you've meditated correctly and you've ignored your body and you've gone off with your mind into this deep peace, your body may feel a bit bizarre. My friend in America that I was doing all this with, discussing it with, he says he gets a rubbery feeling. Now if you do that, just sit quietly until your consciousness takes your body back again. Okay? You just sit quietly and relax, and that's basically it. Okay? Now, that's one. Meditation 1, that's the Buddhist meditation. Now I'm going on to a more active meditation, and what did I call it? Visualization type. Now, this is exactly the same. You do exactly the same things. You ask God for protection, you do the cocoon thing, and you start to relax. But instead of just relaxing and going into this deep peace, I want you to try and imagine a big diamond in front of you, a big diamond. It's got a multifaceted diamond, a big oval, round, whatever you want, and I want you to try and visualize this. Now, some people find visualization easy and some people find it difficult, but if you find it difficult, don't worry. If you practice day after day after day this technique, it will eventually come, and with your eyes shut, in your mind you will be able to see clearly this diamond. Once you see it, start to make it turn and rotate in front of your eyes, and you will see light flashing off it, as if God's shining a little projector on this diamond, and this light will be flashing in your eyes, but it won't hurt your eyes. It's a special sort of light, and this is important if you wish to develop your powers of visualization, without which you can't go into ultimately the astral realms and so on. You can't contact your guides. You can be I'll put it another way. You can become a medium by doing this sort of meditation, but it doesn't come in 5 minutes. If you want to be really a trained medium, it's a bit more complicated than that, but it takes months, years even, so it's not a 5-minute thing. Whatever happens in any of these meditations, do not try and astrally project. If you do, you will go into the low 4th dimension where there's nasty creatures and you'll get possessed by one of them. Stay, even though you're going deep within with your mind and you're doing things, stay within this protective power. Okay? The astral realms are very, very dangerous for untrained people. Quite as dangerous as taking a small child into the middle of a busy and dangerous city and just releasing it. That child will either get knocked over by a car or a bus or get snatched by somebody. Okay? It's as dangerous as that. So don't muck about, don't mess about with this stuff. Now, I'm, hang on, have I got lost? Well, we've gone through that one. Right, now I'm going to go on to the last one, which I called self-guided meditation. And once again, I'm going to read you a meditation, but I want you to make up your own meditation, based on this sort of subject what I'm going to talk about. Now, once again, you go through all the basics, you sit in the room, you shut your eyes, you ask for protection and all the rest of it. And then when you start to go into this meditative state, I want you to imagine an old-fashioned walled garden, like you see in some big, huge estates back in the Victorian days and so on. They used to have a walled garden which would be protected from the cold winds outside. Okay? Now, I want you to imagine this walled garden, and in one of the walls is a beautiful wrought iron gate. You're seeing all this with your eyes shut, obviously. A wrought iron gate. You stand in front of that gate, and you open the gate, and you walk into this beautiful walled garden, and you shut the gate behind you. Okay? Now, I'm going to start. I'm reading this, so I don't want to miss any of it, so I'll sort of start it. Imagine that you are just outside a large walled garden. There is a wrought iron gate. You open the gate and walk into a beautiful garden. With your imagination, visualize all the flowers, the gravel paths, the birds singing, and so on. As you walk into this garden, actually talk to yourself silently, describing what you are doing and what you are seeing. For instance, I look at the wrought iron gate from outside the garden and admire the skill of the blacksmith who created that gate, the beauty of its design, the fact that this gate has withstood the ravages of time and still is as good as the day that it was made. I open the gate, I can hear it squeak on its hinges, and I walk and I see a gravel path in front of me that will lead me into the garden. And you go on and you take your time and you invent a little story in your mind. Actually try and see in your mind's eye all that you're describing. Try to hear the sounds that are in the garden, the crunch of the gravel as you walk on it, the singing of the birds. Try actually to smell the perfume of the flowers. Try to identify different varieties of flowers, roses, geraniums, wallflowers and so on. Eventually, as you're walking along, you arrive at the centre of the garden and you sit on a little bench. Right in the middle of the garden is this beautiful fountain. All the various paths in the garden lead to this one point. Look at the water as it jets into the air, okay? As the sunlight causes the droplets of water to sparkle like a myriad diamonds. The droplets of water fall into a circular pool. Hear the sound of the water as it splashes into the pool. Look into the pool and see the fishes swimming lazily around. And just allow, just sit and allow the beauty of all this, the water merrily splashing into the pool, the fish happy and worry-free. Look at the riot of colour of the flowers, the beautiful birds chirping and singing happily away, and allow that to fill you with happiness, with contentment. Try and really visualise all this. Realise that all this was made by God, and that you are sitting in that warm, peaceful garden, that you are part of all that, part of God. Realise that this is your special place of peace and happiness, and nothing can harm you there. Okay? The idea behind it is to realise that you have this secret place inside you, and you can go into it when you want, and it will give you a feeling of peace. Eventually you can keep that feeling with you all day long. Even if you're driving through busy traffic, you can keep that feeling of peace with you, but it takes time. You have to do it slowly, and this is a good method of obtaining that feeling of peace. Okay? Now, eventually, when you've watched this fountain for a while, stand up and retrace your steps to the gate. Go out and close the gate behind you, saying to yourself that you will return tomorrow, and that the garden will always be there, your personal haven of peace. Then say thank you to God for that experience. Thank your guides and angels for standing guard over you. Remove the protective cocoon that you put round you, and return to your normal self. And that's that meditation finished. Okay? Now, I've shown you 3 different types of meditation. They all have different aims and objectives. If you want, please practice them, but remember to ask for protection and do the cocoon thing. Otherwise, you'll be attacked by something, and I don't want that to happen to you. If you've got any questions, either contact me or ask me to do another video, and I'll try and explain all the whys and wherefores of meditation and the astral realm. It's a complicated story, so I didn't want to go into it today. Okay, so I'll say goodbye. Thank you for listening to me. I hope you've got something out of this, and namaste. I'll speak to you another time. Bye.